Viewer note: this story is purely fictional and intended for entertainment purposes only. However, some content may be disturbing to certain audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Chapter 5: The Four Horsemen. It was September 7th, 2026. 14 days had passed since the disaster in Hesperia Nation, the one that had thrown the whole world into chaos. 14 days, and it felt like a storm cloud, getting heavier and darker every single day, just sitting there on top of everyone's heads, refusing to go away. The international community hadn't exactly sat around doing nothing. Countries had organized relief teams bringing supplies, medical crews, technical experts, all trying to get into Hesperia to help the survivors. But the reality? They couldn't even get through the borders. Every single aid effort had been stopped cold at the frontier. All they could do was set up makeshift relief centers in neighboring countries, tents, plastic tarps, moldy bread, limited water rations. These places weren't much more than thin band-aids, stretched over a wound so deep, it felt bottomless. Every day, those centers could only offer the bare minimum to keep people alive. A little clean water, a few hard crackers, and even that tiny bit of help, it caused chaos. The crowd showing up were scared, desperate, running on pure stress, hunger, and no sleep for days. Every time supplies were handed out, there were tense sighs, shoving, even small physical fights breaking out. But human chaos wasn't even the worst part. The real nightmare? A silent massacre no one could explain. An outbreak. A plague. Whatever you wanted to call it. The international expert teams had thrown everything they had at it, dissecting bodies, running tests, cultures, scans, analyses, and what they found was absolutely horrifying. No virus, no bacteria, no fungus, not even chemical toxins. The victims would start with numbness in their limbs, total loss of control. Then their ability to swallow or even breathe would shut down fast. Most were dead within 48 hours. No time to react. No time to save them. But here's the really creepy part. 24 hours after death, their bodies changed. Muscles, organs, all of it just gone. Cleaned out. Like someone or something had taken a rag and wiped them clean. All that was left? Skin and bones. White, bare, exposed. No rot, no leaking fluids. Just disappeared. This doesn't make any sense, a scientist shouted, slamming his fist on the table inside one of the makeshift labs. His name was Dr. Lewis. He was a virologist from Maple Leaf Nation, and he looked like he was about 2 seconds away from a meltdown.
All our samples negative. Clean as if there was never anything there to begin with. But people are dropping dead right in front of us, one after another. There's no explanation.
Things get even weirder over in Olive Nation,
added another expert, Ivanov, an epidemiologist from White Bear Nation. He had his brows knitted so tight, it looked painful.
Their people reported that some Hesperia folks who crossed the border and looted supplies, yeah, they got sick too. Same symptoms. But the Olive locals who got robbed? 0 infections. Not a single one. The line between who gets it and who doesn't, it's terrifyingly clear.
Over in a small border town in Olive Nation, a few locals huddled in the corner of a dingy tavern, talking in low voices.
Did you hear? Yesterday at the market, a couple of northerners tried to rob a bakery. They ran off. Didn't even make it 2 blocks before they just dropped. Like broken puppets. Collapsed right there on the street.
Collapsed right there on the street. An old miner took a swig of his drink, voice thick with something between a sigh and a dark chuckle. No one laughed, just silence. Then someone raised their glass and clinked it against his. That kind of justice, it didn't feel satisfying. It just felt colder. Meanwhile, there was another disaster spreading nuclear contamination. Hesperia's nuclear power plants had completely lost cooling capability. Radiation was leaking nonstop. It had already seeped into nearby inland saltwater regions. The air carried a strange metallic salty tang, like breathing itself might be dangerous now. Shrimpong Kingdom reacted fast, evacuating residents in nearby zones immediately, and sealing off huge areas of land as restricted zones. Soldiers stood guard behind barricades, guns loaded, blocking every possible entry route. Unlike other nations, Shrimpmon made one thing crystal clear. No relief centers for Hesperia refugees. None. "We understand the disaster," was their official statement, short, cold, and zero sympathy. "But that doesn't mean we're taking the risk." Global satellite feeds were sending back even more disturbing images. Wildfires were spreading uncontrollably across multiple regions inside Hesperia. No one was fighting them. No one was counting the damage. Buildings and forests were swallowed by flames. Smoke poured into the sky like massive scars carved into the earth.
No one's fighting the fires. No one's tracking the losses.
A disaster assessment officer in the Unified Command Center muttered, staring at a flickering map of fire hotspots on his screen.
What's actually left in there? It's a number that's distant, blurry, hidden behind all that smoke and death.
"And casualty figures?" he continued, voice dropping low, like it was being dragged up from deep in his chest. "That's become a number that doesn't even feel real anymore." While experts around the world dug through data and samples, trying to find any possible lead, a tiny, incredibly strange detail began to emerge. In every single autopsy sample, there was a trace of an isotope, extremely inert, incredibly faint, almost never recorded in nature, so weak, most tests almost missed it, but it was there, like an invisible mark, a code, still unreadable. Could it be the key? The one thing that unlocks the door to this whole disaster?